Hello everyone, this is my capstone project for EDT 560. I'm just going to give you a brief overview and put the slide deck into the assignment. The first thing I wanted to point out is that I changed the concept. In my final project of EDT 520, I focused on the Earth Systems unit. We did not implement that unit this year, so I felt I wanted to keep redefining what I had already started creating. However, in reviewing the work that I had done in EDT 520, I really feel that I already developed a substantial unit. So it would be more beneficial for me to work on a different unit for this capstone project. So this will be a different project than I proposed last week. The concept for this project is, how do organisms use energy to live, grow, and interact with their environment? This is part of our life science unit that we study in October and November. The unit description: students are able to provide evidence that living things are made of cells. So the culminating activity that students will be doing for this project is analyzing and interpreting data from their observations of protists. Students will discover a new species in the protozoa kingdom and explain to the scientific community what constitute it as living. The pillar for instructional technology that I'm focusing on is teaching and learning. How can technology enhance teaching and learning partnerships that support and promote innovative models and deeper learning? So this unit really is an inquiry-based and student-driven unit. It's open-ended. Students are applying their learning, and I really focus on the SAM-R model and the instructional design format for this unit. The standards are the two middle school life science 1 and 2, conducting an investigation to provide evidence that living things are made of cells, and then to develop a model to describe the function of those cells. The enduring understanding is that all living things are made of cells with different structures and functions. And we have several essential questions for students to answer. Student learning objectives: students will be able to do many of the design, create, explain, compare, contrast, identify. So this is what I really want to focus on, the SAMR model. So for substitution, the first thing, students are going to be using graphic organizers to list the 6 characteristics of life, and they are going to be defining those in the protist kingdom. Augmentation, they're going to construct a digital poster that will individually distinguish the characteristics of life using visual models or multimedia evidential support. This is an activity that I did previously in this semester, I think around week 3. Modification, students are going to design and create a visual model representation for a newly discovered species in the protozoa kingdom. And then to redefine, they are going to design, create, and deliver a news report explaining to the scientific community the discovery of their new species and what constituted as a living protist. So it really builds upon each other over the weeks. Leveraging technology. Students will be leveraging technology throughout this entire unit, mostly using G Suites, Chromebooks, YouTube, Wii videos, and other drawing tools that they feel comfortable with. The classroom environment is a combination of interactive and independent instruction throughout this unit. So there are 5 learning activities. The first one will be the lab characteristics of living things. This emphasizes um, what constitutes living, non-living, and once living organisms. From there, students are going to construct those digital posters on the 6 characteristics of living things. Then we will do a lab where students will be observing organisms under the microscope, making both qualitative and quantitative observations. And then we will get live specimen of protists, where students will conduct investigations to provide evidence that living things are made of cells. Once we have the evidence and the data, Students will then design a protist of their own within the criteria of the 6 characteristics of living things. They'll design and create their own visual model and representation. And then lastly, to redefine the entire unit and activities, they're going to create a newscast, either using Screencastify, WeVideo, or YouTube, where they're going to analyze and interpret the data, and they're going to explain to the scientific community how their species is living and what constitute it as a living protist. So within this unit, there are multiple means of expression. Students are in full control of the product outcome. And there will be lots of reflection and feedback among small groups, from myself, from Google Forms, Kahoots, Quizlets. Students are not doing work. They are doing the work. They're not memorizing work throughout this unit. So we're looking for them to apply their knowledge in any way that they choose. This was the old rubric that I had for the first part of this activity. And I realized that the original rubric wasn't assessing learning outcomes at all. It's more of just a graphic organizer to help the students manage the assignment, similar to what I had in the Three Things Lab. Again, an assignment I redefined earlier in this course. And so now the new rubric has 6 assessment criteria: organization, characteristics of life, product design, news report, creativity, and work habits. So the structure of my rubric is meets, and I put all parts of meeting the standard there. I really want all students to meet the standard, and so the criteria is really laid out for them. I also make it a point to put in exceeds. I think this is a great way to provide enrichment for students who have met and need or want to further develop their activity. And then partial and needs is missing one or multiple aspects of the meets criteria. So here I have organization, characteristics of life, product design, news report, creativity, and work habits. So I hope you enjoyed, and I will put the slide deck in. So if you'd like to take more time to look at it, you can. Thank you.